Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Talking with F podcast. How's everyone been doing? Before we start this podcast, subscribe. Whoever's listening to this right now, on whatever platform you're on, I want you to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. All links are in my description. And I want you to subscribe to me wherever you're listening on. Follow my YouTube page as well. Subscribe, like and comment on my YouTube page. I'm trying to build those subscribers up. I'm trying to hit those thousands of views. And who knows, I might even start recording full video. Right now I just do audio and I upload it. But if I get enough interest on YouTube, I can always upload something on that. So what's been going on? What has been going on around the world? Let's see. So tomorrow's the big day for the UK. 4th of July is when the lockdown is going to ease. I talked about this on my last episode as well, about places that are going to start opening up. So it should be good. Can't wait to see how it goes. One big thing is that the pubs are going to open up and everyone's going to go fucking crazy because people have been banned from pubs for 2-3 months right now. Everyone just wants to get out, have a drink and fucking chill. I was watching the news as well and they were saying that they've got all these emergency responders on the sidelines waiting for people to go to the pub because everyone knows that when people get pissed, certain people can't handle the alcohol, they get into fights, they get blackout drunk, collapse on the floor. So who has to pick up the slack? It has to be the first responders. But what I would say is anybody that is going out on Saturday, drink reasonably. I know it's been a long time. If you do drink reasonably, look after yourself and look after others because the coronavirus is still around. It's not exactly 100% gone. Although infection rates and the number of deaths have fallen quite a lot, it doesn't mean that it's completely gone. There's still people out there still can get it. So what I would say, just be careful when you're out there. Another bit of news was the UK's allowed people to have holidays across Europe. So what's happened is, due to Corona, the UK holiday industry has took quite a big hit. There's been quite a few airlines in the UK that have had to let a number of staff go. We're not talking 20, 30, 40 people. They've had to fire over thousands of people because no one could take holidays, no one could go anywhere, so they were losing a lot of money and they did the next best thing that they could to save themselves. They've started to get rid of employers. But it did come out that the UK has allowed entry for holiday makers to some European countries. So they gave a list and they've got a colour system. So they've assigned a colour to each country. So if it's green or amber, there's not that much of a... Well, if it's green, there's hardly any risk of you catching the corona. If it's amber, there's a small risk. And then if it's red, there's a high risk that you could get it. And then what they're saying is that it's entirely up to whoever wants to go on holiday. It's entirely up to them to go and make their own decision. Which, fair enough, everyone's grown up and, ideally you should be able to make your own decisions. But it's still a little bit because the corona's still there, should they really be allowing people to go on holidays? I know everyone's fed up and they've had enough of being on lockdown and staying at home, but still they shouldn't really open it up as much as they are right now, in my opinion. My opinion could be wrong, so don't take it for fact. It's just an opinion. But unless there's a vaccine out there, a cure out there for this corona, they shouldn't really be opening it up to this extent. But I also understand where they're coming from as well, where the government's coming from, where these companies are coming from, because we've been on lockdown for quite such a long time. The whole world's been on lockdown for quite such a long time. There's been a lot of, there's been a lot of businesses that have gone bankrupt. A lot of people have lost money, and you don't want to get to a point where the economy suffers so much that it's unreturnable. Like you don't want to fuck up the economy so much. You don't want to close. You don't want so many businesses to close down that when everything starts opening up again, those businesses can't ever open up again, and it's such a big hit. So like, there's got to be a balance, and just finding the right amount of balance is the most important thing. On the back of that, though, they've come up with like a new system. So like, wherever the corona spikes or rises, they close that individual place down. So for example, like just this week, I believe it was Leicester, there was like a high surge of people getting coronavirus in Leicester. So what they've done is they've just closed that city down. They put it under lockdown. So the rest of the UK is still open, but that one part, that one city will be under lockdown, which is quite smart, to be honest. Like, it's definitely a good thing, because although the corona is in the full country, it's in all of the UK, it's still high and low in certain parts of the country. So it doesn't make sense to have the full country on full lockdown. Like, I'm going back like a month, 2 months ago, when the only thing you could do was go outside for shopping and do your daily exercise. Those were the only two things you could do. But it's definitely a good step. It's the right step that they've figured out a way to say that, if you're living in a certain area and there's a high rise of coronavirus, what we'll do is we'll close that area off. So we'll put a lockdown, make sure everyone, follows the lockdown rules, but the rest of the country can go about their normal business. So it's a good way of keeping it under control. But you never know, do you? A lot of people have started talking about a second spike coming. So, like I said, once again, you just gotta be careful. That's the best thing. Just be careful all the time, and see how it goes. But like, I was recently browsing, going through Instagram and Twitter, and one thing I've noticed is there's a lot of OnlyFans accounts. Like, a lot of girls are making OnlyFans accounts, and it seems to be quite popular nowadays. Now, what is OnlyFans? So whoever doesn't know, it's like, it's not exclusive to girls, but a lot of girls, well, it's mostly girls that are doing it, but guys do it as well, where you can go onto this site called OnlyFans, and you can pay a monthly fee to have access to this person's photos and videos. And what photos and videos are those? They're basically naked, they're fucking, they're doing whatever they want to do, and you pay like $15-16 or pounds a month, and you can see all their shit online. But a lot of people have made money from it. Like, I was on Twitter and I was reading this like little profile from this girl, and she was like, she took a picture of her house, and she was like, oh, I'm 22 and I've just bought my first ever house, fully cashed out, all off OnlyFans. So it's a lot of business that people have started making off that. And like I said, it's not just girls, even guys have started making money. Like, they'll go on there. It's like YouTube or any other subscriber list. Like, well, you could say it's more like Netflix. Like, you only give access to those people who pay like a monthly fee. But imagine that. Imagine if you're charging £15 a month for them to come onto your website and look at your pictures and do whatever you do, and you got like 1,000 people that do it every month. That's £15,000 a month straight to your bank account. For what? For you just sitting at home, taking a few photos, and letting the world see them. But then on the other end, then, like, you're fucking your naked pictures out, everyone in the world can see them. People can screenshot them, record them, whatever, screen record them. You know, like they say, once something's out on the internet, it's always going to be out. So people always going to have access to that. Now, it might seem good right now in the present, but 5, 10, years down the line, will it still be a really good thing? Will people still be interested in that? I mean, once you get married and you have little kids, and what if your little kids goes online and sees those photos of you? It'd be kind of fucked, won't it? Can you imagine that? And this is to both guys and girls. You have a little kid and they come to you and they're like 9, 10 years old and they're like, Mummy, Daddy, I found a picture of you online. Why are you naked in it? Like, what are you gonna say? You're gonna be like, son, I made this because I want to earn a little bit extra money and fucking times are hard, and that's why I started putting naked pictures online of me. But it's each to their own, to be honest. Like, whoever wants to do it can do it. Like, fair enough, people are balling, they're making money. It's a hustle in a way, isn't it? People are hustling and making money, and it's just another way to make money. So fair dues to them. Whoever does it, fair dues to them. Like, but it's a decent amount of money people are making. And the funny thing is, like, Instagram profiles, like a lot of Instagram profiles you go through, they've started putting in their bio, they're addy for their OnlyFans account. So they'll have like a little bio of themselves, and then they'll have like a link to their OnlyFans page. So that's how popular it's getting. That's how much it's popping off. Like a lot of people are started coming around to them and thinking, yo, you know what? We can make a lot of money off this. A lot of money. But like I said, fair dues to them. If you want to make an OnlyFans account and make money, you can. But it'll probably get to that point where it'll be oversaturated. Like, it just won't be hundreds or thousands of people. There'll be millions of people on there, and then people will be thinking, okay, who shall I choose and who shall I not choose? So you might even get people who make a profile and only get like 1 subscriber or 2 subscribers, and they're making £30 a month for releasing all these naked ass photos of them and videos of them as well. So that'll be a big thing in the future as well. So we'll see what happens in relation to that as well, and see if people keep making money or if they go broke. It's the future, so who knows. And another interesting thing was, it was quite recently as well. So Ghislaine Maxwell, am I saying that right? Ghislaine, whatever. So that's her name. So she's been arrested by the FBI. So if you don't know who she is, she was Jeffery Epstein's alleged, she was Jeffery Epstein's accomplice. She was quite close to him. Now, if you don't know who Jeffery Epstein is, have you been living under a rock? Like, the guy was a massive pedo. Like, he had a big ass pedo ring. He got caught by the FBI with a whole island, with a big house on the island, and he was like basically fucking these little kids, like, these 15, 16-year-old girls who were illegal, underage, and he was taking them out there and basically giving them to these like politicians and celebrities. Like, he had like a little black book where he wrote all the politicians and celebrities that came to his island and basically, did all these illegal activities. And so he got arrested by the FBI, and then he got put in a prison cell, and before you know it, the guy committed suicide. And how did he commit suicide? He hung himself right before he was meant to testify. So the guy was like, okay, I'm going to testify, I'm going to give all the names up of all the people who basically came to the island. These are politicians, these are high-ranking officials, these are world leaders, like really, really big world leaders. And so there's a whole conspiracy that, I wouldn't even say it's a conspiracy, it's probably a fact that he got killed in prison. Like, these politicians came around and thought, fuck that, this guy, he knows too much information, we need to get rid of him. So they hung the guy, but he was dead, and so they couldn't really take any action against him. But like I said, Maxwell, this woman who was really close to him, they've arrested her and they charged her with conspiracy for enticing minors to engage in sex. Now, why is that big news? It's big news because this woman, she wasn't just close to Jeffrey Epstein, she was close to Prince Andrew as well. And yeah, Prince Andrew, our UK Prince Andrew, and he got caught in this whole scandal because he was quite close friends with Jeffrey Epstein, and he was shown to be traveling to Jeffrey Epstein's island quite a few times, going back and forth. And so there was this whole thing of, was he a part of it? Did he know what was going on? And so Prince Andrew, he did like a one-to-one interview, and he denied everything. He was like, oh, Jeffrey Epstein, I was his friend, but I didn't know what kind of illegal activities he was doing, this and that, which a lot of people call bullshit on. But the fact that this Maxwell person's been arrested right now is good, because it shows that there's some kind of progress in this whole pedo ring that's been going around. And hopefully, I doubt it, I do doubt this, but hopefully one day, we can get to the bottom of this and see who was actually involved. And when I mean high-ranking officials were like really close to these people like Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein, like I'm talking about the Clinton family, he was close to Trump as well, Prince Andrew. It's fucked up. Like if you really go into it all, it's really, really fucked up, like how deep it actually runs, and who was into it. But the fact that she's been arrested, Ghislaine Maxwell, whatever, she's been arrested, is some kind of positivity that finally there's going to be some kind of progress. But like I said before, I doubt it's ever going to go anywhere. The main reason why I think it's not going to go anywhere is because there's such high officials involved, there's such politicians involved, there's a lot of people in power that are involved in all this shit. So at the end of the day, they're going to shut it down. If it gets to a place where some high-ranking official is going to get put in prison or get caught, they'll close the whole thing down. Even now, I think this whole arresting of this Maxwell person, because who is she? She's really nobody. She just knew the people. Like she was just around them. So I think she's been like put as a, what shall I say, like a sacrificial lamb to the slaughter. So she's been sacrificed so people can see, oh yeah, they've arrested someone in this whole thing, and they're taking progress into it. In my understanding, I personally think that after this arrest of this Maxwell person, they're not going to do anything else. They're just going to slowly forget about it, and then a few years are going to pass, people are going to forget about it, and then a few more years are going to pass, and then people start making conspiracy theories like, oh yeah, this happened, but it's going to be pointless by then. Like, you can make all the conspiracy theories in the whole world, but at the end of the day, if there's no action from it, it's kind of pointless. For entertainment purpose, it's good. Like, you could stick it on YouTube or wherever you want to put it on, any platform that you want to put it on. People will read it, it'll get clicks, but will any serious action be taken from it? I personally don't think there will. So who knows what's gonna happen in that regards. But one of the biggest criminal bust in the UK has happened. So what happened? So police in the UK infiltrated an encrypted system which led to hundreds of people getting arrested, hundreds of criminals getting arrested, and them seizing £54 million. Fucking mad, that, isn't it? So do you know a lot of criminals, what they do is, like, and I'm not talking about these little shotters, these little drug dealers around the corner who be in their little courses and their, the little Nokias driving around. I'm talking about big high up there. These guys are making millions of pounds every year. And so what they do is they use like encrypted mobile phones. Like, they're really expensive. Like thousands of pounds they cost them. But the whole point of these encrypted mobile phones is that they can't be traced. So it's a really big thing in the criminal underground enterprise, whatever. Like, they like using them because they can talk on them and send messages on them, and they know that they're not gonna get intercepted by the police, because technology's got to such a point that police have so many, have so much good technology nowadays that they can basically, they can get, if they get hold of your mobile phone, they can read your text messages, listening to your calls as well. But these encrypted mobile phones are meant to protect you from that. However, in this case, the police actually infiltrated these encrypted phones, and that's why there's been such a big arrest. So police, they arrested 746 suspected top-tier criminals involved in murder, gun smuggling and drug trafficking after infiltrating an encrypted phone system. In an operation led by the UK's National Crime Agency, investigators said they have prevented contract killings, seizing £54 million in cash and 1.5 tons of cocaine. Almost 80 firearms have been taken into custody, including an AK-47 assault rifle, that's fucked up, submachine guns, even more fucked up, handguns, 4 grenades, and more than 1,800 rounds of ammunition. That's fucking, like, why do you need that much ammunition, mate? Like, are you going to war? Holy shit. And in the UK as well. Like, who says the UK doesn't have guns? Like, do you know when Americans, like, this is all to my American fans as well, but do you know when you lot in America say, oh, the UK don't have any guns? Yes, they do. And they have a shitload of guns. It's just that it's illegal here. However, they can easily be obtained from in the UK. They can easily be obtained in the UK. So about 2 tons of Class A and B drugs, including more than 28 million pills from a laboratory, have also been confiscated, plus 55 high-value cars and 73 luxury watches. Someone's going to be fucking crying. 55 high-valued cars and 73 watches. You know those watches are all Rolexes. Fucking everyone's rolling with Rolexes nowadays. So you know those Rolexes got taken off. So many of the targets are said to have considered themselves untouchable, posing as respectable, wealthy tycoons with lifestyles built on the profits of legitimate businesses. One source said many were seen by friends and neighbours as pillars of society, but in reality were leading secret, glamorous lives they thought would go on forever. And that's the maddest thing, like, it is like when you see drug dealers nowadays. Well, it depends. Like when you see these like little drug dealers, like street drug dealers, or these people who do fraud, who rob people, on the lowest level, they stunt too much. Like they show off their money too much. They'll go and buy a car, these watches, chains, and everything. They'll make like a little YouTube video. They'll go online and flaunt their wealth a little bit as well. But that's fuck all. Because at the end of the day, that's what helps them get caught as well. These high criminals who make millions or millions of pounds, none of them act like that. They're so undercover. They even have legitimate businesses, and with those businesses, they make it out as like they're self-employed and they're running a successful business, and it basically makes other people think in society yeah, so they've got their own business. That's how they can afford these nice cars, watches, and all this money. When in fact, all the shit they're doing is proper illegal. It's proper mad that. So it was every police force in Britain was involved in this operation. So it launched in April, and after analysts managed to infiltrate the secretive ECRONAT mobile telephone system used by organized criminals around the world. So ECROChat was a encrypted mobile system that these criminals would use. So they actually infiltrated that mobile system, which led to all this shit happening. So people who had this mobile, they would pay £1,600 a month for a bespoke EncroChat handset, which offers a highly encrypted communication platform used legitimately by celebrities and investigative journalists who fear being hacked. So it's not like this telephone, this telephone line called EncroChat was purposely made for criminals. It's been around for a long time, for celebrities and for other even politicians or high value people. Like at the end of the day, people want privacy at any cost, which just shows you that the fact that an encrypted mobile phone got hacked into by the police and they exposed so many criminals, is there ever going to be anything as fully private? I personally don't think so. Like, we live in such an age where, you know, you have Twitter, you have Instagram, you have all these, you know, social media platforms, you have everyone recording, everyone taking photos, Google Maps as well. Like, everything's there on for sure. Like, if you really want to find someone, you can find someone, unless you're completely off the grid. Like, I mean, completely, like you're living in the middle of the woods and living like a hermit, you know, lighting your own fires and cooking your food on wooden fires. Unless you do that, there's no way you're not gonna escape all this, like, you know, all this social media platforms and all these photos and everything. No way is that going to be possible. So the Metropolitan Police played a key role in arresting 132 suspects and seizing £13 million in cash and 14 firearms, including Scorpion submachine guns. I don't even know what the fuck a Scorpion submachine gun is, but it sounds like a motherfucker. It sounds bad boy. Fucking Scorpion submachine gun. So in one raid, officers used specialist counter-terror firearm officers and stun grenades to arrest a dangerous suspect involved in firearms and major drug trafficking. That's how far they went. They're using counter-terrorist maneuvers to arrest these fuckers. Mad that. And there's actually a quote from the police commissioner as well. So, you know, after this arrest, they were like, what she basically said was, this is quoted from her, and she said they thought they were never going to get caught and were able to use those devices without worry. And this shows that law enforcement will be able in the future, whenever you hide, to come after you. These people have been hiding for far too long. So this is just the beginning. We have arrested large numbers of people. We have many more to arrest, and we will be disrupting organized criminal networks as a result of these operations for weeks and months and possibly years to come. I think it's a game changer because it shows people that you need to be frightened, because we may already be after you now on the basis of what you have been doing. Mad. Fucking mad. The National Crime Agency said investigators had seized 106 EncroChat mobile handsets during the operation, and so far, and prevented the murder of several individuals who were the target of rival gangs. Fucking mad. Mad that. Check this as well. One gang which was targeted was thought to be smuggling guns and drugs through a network spanning Europe and the United Arab Emirates. That's how fucking far it went. That's how much of a span there was. But like I said before, in this day and age, if you don't go completely off the grid, and this should just prove to you right now, that anybody can get caught. Anybody can get caught. And listen, at the end of the day, if you're in that kind of lifestyle where you're murdering people, you're selling drugs, you know, you're doing all this kind of fucking illegal activity which is actually hurting people, it's part of the game. You've got to be ready for it. You got to be ready for the police to come knocking on your door, to get arrested and to get sent down for many years. So we'll see how it progresses as well. You know, the commissioner was like, this is just the start of it. And the fact that they've arrested so many people and she just said this is the start of it tells me that in the next coming weeks, in the few coming weeks that are coming, there's going to be a lot of more arrests, because a lot of people would have been chatting shit on these encrypted mobile phones. You know, if they wholly believed that there was no way that anybody could hack into these mobile phones or listen to what they're saying, they would have left all their business on there, like told everything on there. And the fact that the police were able to hack this just shows you that, number one, how much criminals rely on technology to an extent that that one of their mobile phones got hacked into, encrypted mobile phones got hacked into, and so many people got arrested, so much money basically got seized, so many guns got seized, and like, you know, they've basically prevented a number of murders as well. So it just shows you how fucking mad it can be. And I was talking about this as well on my previous episodes as well, the India and China clashes. So they had this like whole clash on the Himalayan border where a few people on the India side died and a few people on China side died. So it just came out recently that India decided to ban, like, I believe it's like 50 or 60 apps from China. Like, they straight out came to the all of India residents, like that's over 1 billion people, and we're like, you cannot use any of these motherfuckers apps. You know, they kill some of our guys, fuck them, we're gonna throw them to the dogs. And one of those apps, which is one of the most popular ones, is TikTok. So TikTok is made in China, and the maddest thing is they have like, I believe they have like they have like 1.2 billion users of TikTok, and 600 million of them are from India. And the fact that India has banned TikTok from, India has banned TikTok, they've lost like half of their, users have just disappeared, have gone, and the value of the company would fall as well. So they're gonna have to build all that up. That's gonna be a big hit to their company. Because I remember as well when TikTok came out, it wasn't as popular in like Western countries. Like Western, I mean like America, Canada, UK, Europe. It was more popping in India, and so that's why if you go on TikTok now, with like some of like the biggest profiles are from India, because they were on it from day one. Like when it came out, they were like making all these like TikTok videos. They were with it, and it's only recently that people have started, like in Western countries, started making all these TikTok videos and kept up with the hype. But it was originally people from India that were making all these TikToks. So I wonder how that's going to affect them. Like, I wonder how because it'll affect China at the end of the day, because they've lost over half of their users. The company's going to lose a lot of money, and in China, like, you hear all these stories like how the government's in collaboration with companies, like they help each other out, they share resources, they share money. So it's going to affect the Chinese government a lot as well. But then on the other side, the fact that so many people in India were using it, 600 million, fuck me, well, over 600 million people in India were using it, it's got to affect them as well, because a lot of them were probably making money off that. It was like a social media platform. So the fact that that's now gone, are India going to make their own like TikTok for Indian people so people can go on it? Who knows? Like, there was a lot of people who use it in India, so it's going to be a big blow for them as well. And one of the final things I would like to say is it came out today that Khabib, I'm not even going to attempt his last name because I know I'll fuck it up, I'll butcher it, but Khabib's dad. So if you don't know who Khabib is a UFC fighter. He's undefeated, and he's a current lightweight champion. But his dad was, he's really close with his dad, and his dad passed away today. So I want to offer my call and basically rest in peace to his dad, and thoughts and prayers are with Khabib. He was really close with his dad. But before this whole coronavirus thing happened a few months ago, his dad did have issues. He was in and out of the hospital, and then in the last few months his dad was like permanently in hospital. I think he was in a coma, and then it just came out recently that he passed away. So like, prayers and thoughts with Khabib. Hope he pulls through, because we all know that he was really close with his dad, and hopefully he can get back to fighting. He was meant to fight in September, a bet against Justin, but who knows what will happen with that now, because of this whole, because of his dad passing away, he might just postpone that. He might even just leave UFC, but who knows. But hopefully he can get through it, And, you know, his dad was quite young as well. His dad was in his 50s. I think he was at 56 or 57. So he died at a really, really young age. I think it was like heart complications. Just makes you think, innit, that when it's your time to go, it's your time to go. Just gotta stay healthy and active. But that's it from me this week, guys. You know, if you do like my episodes, share them with your friends. Let people know. The only way this podcast is gonna grow is through word of mouth. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye.